To talk more about it, we're joined today by Carrie Carbonaro. She's the author of Women in Wealth, a playbook to empower clients to unlock their future. Welcome to the first edition. So Carrie, can you tell us about your book and how it serves as a playbook for financial services professionals who want to better serve their female clients?
Yes, so I wrote this book because I don't know if you know, but we have the 80-20 rule with women and money. So only 80% advisors are men, 20% are women. However, we're having the hugest wealth shift ever in history coming up. So I don't know if you know this, but currently women control 1/3 of the nation's wealth. However, by 2030, in 5 short years, they're going to control 2/3 of the nation's wealth, which is $30 trillion. Trillion, not B, not million, trillion. And by 2048, it's going to be 54 trillion. So we're going to see the most massive shift in history that we have ever seen. More women clients or more women are going to have control of the purse strings in the family than ever before. And ironically, the industry was set up by men for men, and that's okay because it's going to change. So now we're going to, that's why I wrote this book, because women are the future clients of wealth management firms and the growth. So I want to create an atmosphere that's female friendly in the industry for women.
It's such a great book, and in terms of advice and tips for women who are trying to start their own business, trying to save, trying to grow, can you lay out some of this, especially for young women who are just entering the workforce? What are some of the priorities they should be thinking about?
Sure. So it's funny, in my first book, I talk about this, and I give them what to do in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. But yes, right out of college, the first thing they need to do, I don't care what anybody says, is they need to sign up for their 401k. And really, step one is do a budget to figure out how to find that extra money in your 401k. But I tell people you cannot not do it because it's the first time, it's your first paycheck, you don't even know what you're missing yet. And it will compound over time. You will have matches, you can invest it. And if you do it right, by the time you're 30, you'll have a 6-figure nest egg. If you do it right, by the time you're 65, you'll have over $1 million.
Wow, that sounds great. You know, Carrie, the thing is, before women become women, they're girls. So how can we actually expand the pipeline to actually bring financial literacy and education to girls so they even know before they get into college and already be prepared to actually execute the plan you just laid out?
Yep, so there's 2 organizations that I love that are doing this currently. One is Girl Scouts, which has a financial literacy badge, super important. I actually went to the Girl Scout International Conference last year with the CFP board, and we reached girls age 5 to 18 and taught them about CFP and financial literacy. And they knew a little bit about financial literacy, but they didn't know anything about the profession or that they could actually become this. So that was really interesting. And then another one is called Rock the Street, Wall Street, which goes into the schools at a age also, I think, 12 to 18, goes in and does financial literacy with the parents and the children, and all girls.
Those sound like some great programs. So what are you seeing from women right now, your clients looking for personalized care when it comes to their money?
Yeah, so women, it's interesting. Women, I always say women are great planners. They're great at planning vacations, weddings, but not so much interested in retirement. Like it's so funny because the norm is that somebody else is going to take care of it for me. Maybe a spouse, maybe a dad, maybe just somebody else. So it's usually when women get into a crisis, they're interested in planning for themselves, like a death, divorce, disability, job loss, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I need help. So usually it's a very emotional state for women when they actually decide to hire a financial planner or a financial advisor or CFP. And so it's good to, I always tell people, I would like you to come to me when you're not in a crisis, because then you can think a little bit clearer and you
Right.
can get sound advice. You're always going to get sound advice. It's just when your emotions are really high around money, and you're not doing well because of an event, a life event, it's better to do it. You just wake up one day and say, I need to do it. I need to hire a financial planner. When you start to lose sleep over it and things start to get complicated, you need help.
You know, Carrie, here's the thing, right? I'm totally with you with regard to, as soon as you come out of college, your first job, get into that 401k because you're thinking long term, somewhere around 60, 65 to retire and live comfortably. But there's a huge gap between 21 and 65. So what should women be doing outside of, let's say, a retirement plan to start saving and investing, looking forward to buying that first home, to bolster, let's say, a retail account that's investment account that's not a retirement account, so that way you can build and live between 21 and 65.
Yes. So there's two different ways. There's there's three different pots of money. There's after-tax money, there's pre-tax money, and there's tax-free money, right? So I would like you to have all of the above. So pre-tax money is your retirement account. After-tax money is that brokerage account outside of it, and pre-tax is a Roth or a Muni account, right? So I want you to have all of the above. But the only way to do that is to actually find money in your budget. So you have to really know your numbers. You have to know what's coming in and what's going out at the end of the month, and what's left over is how you create that incredible nest egg and financial freedom. So I like to have all three of those buckets filled. So if in my ideal world, you could save 25% of your income and then put it into those three buckets, you're going to be a millionaire potentially by the time you're 50. And then your money just grows by the power of compounding interest. And I always feel like the more money you have, the more choices you have for your life of where you want to live, what you want to do, where you want to go to school, where your kids want to go to school, what you want to, what do you want to drive? I mean, every single choice in your life revolves around money. You're making the choices all the time. You just don't even realize it. It's subconscious. So if you can get in focus what I'm spending, what I'm saving all the time, and you're aware of it, it's going to make it easier to do this. And also, if you put it on autopilot and automatically save, that also takes the, oh, I have to put this in my account. Where if it's on automatic, it's much easier.
Well, Carrie, we highlighted your latest book, but also your previous book, which I read, I thought was fabulous, The Money Queen's Guide for Women Who Want to Build Wealth and Banish Fear. You laid out a lot of your personal anecdotes about what you went through to get where you are today to advise women. I mean, don't give them all away because the book's great, but what are some highlights you could explain to our audience about your journey as a wealth advisor?
Sure. So yeah, that's a really long story. We don't have enough time.
There's a few.
However, I believe that a woman should be taking control of her own financial future, even if she's married and has a spouse. I still want her to know where her money is, where it's going. And so another really important part is that women outlive men. I don't know if you know that, but we live very long and we have longevity and women are going to outlive men by an average of 12 years. Wow. So even if you're in a great marriage and everything's fantastic and the husband's taking care of everything for you, there's going to come a point where you're responsible for your own financial future. And so that's why I always tell women, even if you're stay-at-home mom, I still want you to know everything that's going on with your finances. I want you to be on the same page as your spouse. I want you to be engaged in the conversations if you have a financial planner so that both of you guys are involved. And really, I always say anybody can get rich quick. Nobody can get rich quick, but everybody can get rich slow. And so it's just a matter of being, it's kind of like putting yourself on a diet, but just a money diet. And if you are disciplined, you will absolutely 100% get there. And the other thing for women is I don't like them to be afraid of the stock market. I want them to invest in the stock market because they have to beat inflation, and since they have a longer lifespan, they need that money more. They spend more money in healthcare, in retirement. So women need more money, not less money. And then we're not even talking about the pay wage gap, which is another issue. But
Right.
May 25th is Equal Pay Day, which is coming up right around the corner. The good news is that date has been moving up, which is that's the day that women have to work to be equal pay with men. And so it used to be like end of April, May, and now it's March. So it is moving in the right direction. Hopefully in my lifetime we'll get to parity and we'll both have it on January 1st.
That's awesome. You know, as my sister used to always say, get that money, honey. You have to be in it to win it. And I'm so glad you mentioned the stock market, because a lot of people are afraid of it. And if they actually learn it and embrace it, they'll become millionaires, hopefully, no guarantee,
Absolutely.
sooner than later. Carrie Carbonaro, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys.